Hello everyone, I am Mr. Chandrakant Kisan Bosle from GES RHS COE Nashik Mechanical Branch, and today I am going to present a presentation on topic carbon emission from electrical vehicle under International FDP on Environmental and Sustainability for Open Education for a Better World. In first week, I had represented the topic green transportation for environmental sustainability, and the video outcomes from that topics are green transportation is a new environmental friendly solution over the conventional transportation system because conventional transportation system use the combustion of conventional fuels and which emits the pollutants. Walk and cycling are the best options for short distance travel, and these are top in hierarchy of green transportation pyramid. Electrical vehicles are one of the best solution for green transportation because these electrical vehicles have no tailpipe emissions. While charging the battery may increase the pollution at the power plant, the total emissions associated with driving EVs are still typically less than those for gasoline cars, particularly if the electricity is generated from renewable energy sources like wind, solar, etc. To move the towards green transportation, India also take this step by promoting the different schemes like Amrut, Guts, etc. From second week video presentation, the outcomes are Government of India with Ministry of Surface Transport has constituted a permanent automotive industry standards, that is AISC, for development of improved safety, in which I had explained AIS 38, which is having electrical powertrain vehicles and its construction and safety standards. The scope of this AIS 38 is protection against electric shock, direct and indirect currents, excessive currents, water effects, and accumulation of gas in EV. AIS 39 having the scope of measurement of electrical energy consumptions by vehicle preparation and giving the guidelines about the initial charge of rechargeable energy storage system and discharging of that rechargeable energy storage system, and by using this we can calculate the energy consumption calculation for electrical vehicle. Now under this FDP, we have learned the environmental standards, in which I have listed some are ISO 14000. The ISO 14000 is the family of all environmental standards management, in which consists the ISO. Under this umbrella it consists the ISO 14001, which is standard which defines the energy management system, is the general part of management that includes the organizational structure, the activity planning, the responsibilities, the practices, the procedures, the processes, and the resources to develop, implement, carry out, and revise the environmental policy and keep it up to date. ISO 14064 series gives the specification for quantification, monitoring, and validation or verification of greenhouse gas emissions. While ISO 14067 specifies the principal requirement and guidelines for quantifying, quantifying and reporting the carbon footprint analysis for the products. ISO 14080, which also gives the organization framework to develop consistent, comparable, and improved methodology for fight against climate change. Now, related my topics, I have included the some automotive industry standards for electrical vehicles. These are AIS 38. I already explained AIS 39. These also I have already explained. Now, what is AIS 40? So AIS 40 having the scope of the standard which specifies the method for measurement of range expressed in kilometer for L, M and N categories of electrical powertrain vehicles with different taste and operating procedure. AIS 41 having the scope which applies to representation of the curve as a function of motor speed and the power at full load indicated by the vehicle manufacturer for motors of electrical drivetrains and maximum 30-minute power of electrical drive trains, which is apply for L, M and N type of categories of electrical vehicles. Now with this also I have listed some Indian standards and central motor vehicle regulation. So CMVR, it is the document on test method, testing equipment and related procedure for testing, type of approval and conformity of production of all types of vehicle for its emission. Indian standards 11085 to 2001, it gives the automobile vehicles and its braking system. Indian standard 40664 1999 gives the automobile vehicles performance, its requirements, testing procedure for braking system for 2 and 3 wheeler motors. Now these are the some standards which I have listed. Now next is the carbon footprint calculations. Before learning the carbon footprint calculations, so what is carbon footprint? Carbon footprint is nothing but the amount of CO2 which is emitted with all our activities, which includes direct emissions such as the fossil fuel combustion in manufacturing, heating and transportation, as well as it consists also the produced power for electricity generation with goods and which services consumed. Now how we can calculate the carbon footprints? So the method which is used for the calculation, this calculation method used to capture the full life cycle of all aspects of our personal consumption. We focus on consumption in each of our three major categories: housing, travel and food. For simplicity and clarity, all our calculations follows one basic method, that we have to multiply a use input by an emission factor to calculate each footprint. All use inputs are per individual and include things like fuel use, distance, calories, consumption and expenditure. In which the first category is the carbon footprint calculations for housing. To calculate our housing footprint, it is need to work our personal share of home energy use, water use, waste disposal. This means collecting figures for our home annual energy, water and waste use and dividing it by the number of people in our home to get our individual share. Having gathered this information, then multiply our personal uses by an emission factor to calculate our home prints. And the calculation looks like, in which first is the electricity. Electricity, the carbon intensity of electricity varies greatly depending on how it is produced and transmitted. For most of us, the electricity we use comes from the grid and it is produced from a wide variety of sources. So calculate the electricity footprints in housing. The use in kilowatt hour per year, it is multiplied by efficiency factor, which will gives us the efficiency total emissions of CO2 in kg per year. Looks like the second parameters are the fuels. In addition to electricity, many homes use the fuels for their energy needs like natural gas, heating oil, liquid petroleum gas, that is LPG, or coal. For each of these fuels, we can estimate a carbon intensity that tells us the amount of emissions our fuel uses which creates. Next is the waste. Emissions from waste disposals are mainly the result of methane produced at landfill sites as well as transport. By calculating how much waste you produce each week and multiplying by the 52, we can get our annual waste production, and this is then we will get the total footprints per year. Next is the water. Water uses also surprisingly carbon intensive in some places. Emissions come from the two main sources: electricity used in pumping water during its supply and the methane and nitrous oxide that arises from wastewater and sewage treatment. Next, carbon footprint calculations during the travel. To calculate our travel footprints, we need to work out how much travel we have done in last year using various forms of transport. Taking these distances, we can multiply it by a carbon intensity for each form of transport, by vehicle, by bus, by metro, by taxi. The emissions factor we use try to account for the direct emissions from fuel combustion, indirect emissions from the fuel production, and a share of construction emissions for a vehicle. Next is the carbon footprint calculations for food. To calculate our food footprint, we need to estimate the amount of food we consume and the emissions that result from the supply of that food. To simplify this process, we can estimate the typical food energy we consume each day in different food groups, and these are the food groups, that is red meat, white meat, dairy, cereals, vegetables, fruits, oils, snacks, drinks. We start by dividing our diets into major food groups which have broadly similar emission factors. Now, next is the related with my topic, that is carbon emission from electrical vehicle. Now, how can we calculate the carbon emissions or carbon footprint from the electrical vehicles? To calculate, there is a methodology having the two groups. One is the direct emission from tailpipe of EV, and second is the life cycle analysis approach. So direct from tailpipe emission, all electrical vehicle produces zero direct emissions. There is a no combustion in electrical vehicles. Electrical vehicles convert electrical energy directly into the mechanical energy, so there is a no combustion of fuels and no emissions from the tailpipes. But they still produce the fewer tailpipe emissions when relying on the conventional energy sources for power generation. Now, second methodology is life cycle analysis. Now, this is widely accepted method to quantify the environmental impacts of products or process throughout the production, use and end of life phases. The life cycle emissions includes all emissions related to the fuel, manufacturing and vehicle production, processing, distribution, use and recycling up to recycling. For example, for conventional gasoline vehicles, the emissions from the life cycle analysis includes the extraction of crude oil from the earth to the tailpipe emissions. So this is the uh, having the details in every process which is calculated in life cycle analysis. So this life cycle analysis do by three methodologies again. One is process based, which consists the manufacturing and maintenance and repair work. Another is the input output based, that is operation based. And third is the hybrid LCA, which uses both process based as well as input output based to analyze the process specific and supply chain related impacts. In this presentation, I have used the hybrid LCA for carbon emissions from electrical vehicles. Now to analyze this, I have selected the four mid-size, that is sedan type of vehicles, in which the first vehicle is the conventional transportation system vehicle, that is which uses the internal combustion engine, that is I have termed as a ICEV. These vehicles having these vehicles converts the energy from the fuel after the combustion. Due to the combustion, high temperature pressure gases are generated inside the cylinder, and that creates direct force on the components like piston, and the fuel energy, chemical energy in the fuel is converted into the mechanical energy. For study, I have selected Toyota Corolla as a representative car for ICV. Second category, the electrical vehicle. I have selected the electrical vehicle Nissan Leaf to represent. This vehicle is the BEV, battery operated electrical vehicle, which converts the electrical energy directly into the mechanical energy. Next, I have selected the third category, that is hybrid electrical vehicles, which is called hybrid electrical vehicle, which utilize the both power sources, the conventional IC engine as well as electrical motor. And I have selected Toyota Prius as a representative of hybrid electrical vehicle. Next, I have selected the plug-in hybrid electrical vehicles. So the vehicle which can be charged either from the electricity grid or which can move by using the internal combustion engine according to its speed, it utilizes the sources, that is called the plug-in hybrid vehicles. And again, I have selected the same company Toyota Prius as a plug-in hybrid electrical vehicles. Now this carbon emission data I have calculated from three phases. First is the production phase. A vehicle and its material material productions I have prepared in this LCA at different stages, and that its ability capture the impacts from entire supply chain and avoid for truncation error, the vehicle manufacturing vehicle body impacts excluding the batteries. So in this production phase, I have excluding the battery manufacturing. So in which this table represent the values for four categories vehicle, in which the electrical vehicles showing the higher gram of CO2 equivalent, that is 43.83, while vehicle production. Also This is because the the material which is used for electrical vehicle. Now next, I have considered the battery production. Carbon emission data calculation, that is for collection for battery production. For production, EV batteries mainly depends on the rare earth metals, such like nickel metal hybrid batteries and the Li lithium ion batteries. And the resource availability concerns related to lithium ion batteries are relative much less significant than the nickel metal hybrid batteries. And this greenhouse emissions and energy use associated with production of lithium ion batteries and nickel metal hybrid batteries are calculated based on the weights of batteries and set of certain weights. To input parameters to determine battery weights and peak battery energy, I have calculated the following data which represent the greenhouse emission for hybrid vehicles, for plugged-in vehicles and EV. Here there is a zero data for battery production in case of ICEV, ICV, that is internal combustion engine vehicles. Now next, the third data, the collected from vehicle operation phase. The operation phase of vehicle includes the impacts from maintenance and repair of the vehicles, gasoline combustion and supply, and electrical power generation and distribution. The key parameters I have included that the gasoline production price per liter in 2019, the upstream emission for production of a 1 liter gasoline in kg CO2, upstream energy consumption for production of 1 liter gasoline, and direct emissions per liter of gasoline. Next, is the sample calculation for CO2 emission. In order to calculate greenhouse emissions per vehicle kilometer traveled, the gasoline consumption amount per kilometer needed to be determined. By using the impact associated with the production and combustion of 1 liter of gasoline presented in the table, impacts per kilometer can be easily calculated. For instance, let's consider IC engine requires 1 liter petrol to travel 13.2 kilometer. 1 liter petrol to travel 13.2 points. So we calculate the energy consumption for 1 kilometer. Hence, the tailpipe emissions from the combustion and production of the gasoline we calculate as follows. That greenhouse gas emission gram CO2 per kilometer is equal to gasoline consumed per liter, that is we have calculated above, plus multiplied by direct emissions and indirect emissions. That factors I have included in the table. So in this way we can calculate the greenhouse gas emission gram CO2 per kilometer. The energy consumption while running of a vehicle by using the 1 liter of gasoline is calculated by using the following formula. The energy used in megajoule per kilometer is equal to gasoline consumed per liter is multiplied by addition of a direct energy use and indirect energy use. This method, by using these calculations, I have calculated the table for life cycle greenhouse emissions for each type of vehicle, where I have considered the life cycle components such as vehicle manufacturing, vehicle material manufacturing, battery manufacturing, vehicle maintenance and repair, vehicle travel. By calculating this data, it represent the ICV having the more greenhouse emissions if we compared to the different types of electrical vehicles, while the electrical vehicles having the lesser value, PHEV having the PHEV 18 having the lesser value of greenhouse emission. From that data, this graph represent the ICV having the more gram of CO2 emissions per kilometer. Now, life cycle energy consumptions for each type of vehicle, in which the considered factors are vehicle manufacturing, vehicle material manufacturing, battery manufacturing, vehicle maintenance and repair, and travel. By calculating energy consumption for different vehicles, it shows that the hybrid electrical vehicles have less energy consumption for manufacturing, and the highest is the internal combustion vehicles that use the conventional fuel source. Now, from these two studies and calculating the energy consumption and CO2 emissions from different types of vehicles, I have concluded that the carbon footprint amount of CO2 emissions associated with all the activities. Calculating method for person's carbon footprint for each emission sector, house, travel, food, help us to prioritize the step we can take to shrink it by identifying what the biggest opportunity for reductions are. From hybrid LCA for 4 vehicles comparative study, I have learned to calculate the greenhouse emissions per kilometer, and in which electrical vehicles and plugged in hybrid vehicles have less carbon emissions. From life cycle analysis of energy consumptions, it shows the hybrid vehicles and again PHEV plugged in hybrid electrical vehicles have less energy consumptions per kilometer drive. Hence, the EVs are the efficient solution to reduce the emission and environmental sustainability. We can also reduce the zero emission from the electrical vehicles if we produce the electricity generation from non-conventional sources. Thank you so much.